Hello everyone, welcome to another video. So this will be the start of chapter 2 over here, which will be a very short chapter. So this inequality, so let's go through this table to start with. So we'll start to solve simple inequalities. It looks something like this. So sometimes you have done this in Sec 2, sometimes you have not, depending on the year. And then we're going to move on to some of the general rules, right? What to do. So like it's over here. So do you change the inequality sign when you do something in the working? Then after that, we're going to look at some real world questions where you have to actually form the equation yourself, something like this, and then you're going to solve it yourself. Okay. Then after that, we're going to learn the actual Sec 3 things, which is simultaneous inequality. You can see that this is simultaneous inequality, and then there's actually 3 terms here. Right, you can see the 3 underlying terms, and then this so this forms one inequality, and the other one is from here. So actually there are 2 inequalities. So this is similar to simultaneous equations in Sec 2. Okay, so let's start with the very first part. So some of the basic rules of inequalities. So this video over here will actually explain it in detail. So we have not learned anything. It's good to watch this one. So in summary, when we do any sort of working in the inequality, you will do it as if you are solving linear equations. It's exactly the same. Okay, so the question is, do you change the inequality sign as you do various things? So if you plus or minus both sides by a number, you do not need to change the inequality. If you times or divide by positive, you don't need to also. The only time you need to change is when you times or divide by a negative number. Okay, so let's use an example to illustrate this. So again, the QR code will explain in detail. Okay, so for this working, you can see that this is the inequality, the question we're going to solve. So when you say solving, eventually we want 1x. It's either more than or less than a certain number. So 1x is the key. So you can see that we start with negative 4x minus 5. So all these things need to go away. So our first job is to actually both sides plus 5. See? Plus 5, plus 5. Then this gets so-called cancelled away. And then we have, so we're left with minus 4x here. And here we have 16. So remember, we only want 1x. We do not want negative 4x. So we're going to divide by negative 4. So you can see that if I divide by negative 4, I reach here straight away. Okay, so so the point is, but to illustrate the rules that we're talking about, I will just start with dividing by negative 1. So here, divide by negative 1, divide by negative 1. That's why I get 4. I get minus 16. But you notice that the inequality changes. See, from this, it becomes this. Okay, because I divided by a negative number. Okay, so from here to here, I'm dividing by 4. So both sides divide by 4. That's why from 4x, I get x. From negative 16, I get negative 4. But you notice that the inequality is this, and it's also this, so there's no change in the inequality sign because I divided by 4, which is a positive number. So you can see that it's similar to solving linear equation with only one little exception. You got to take note of, do I change the inequality sign or not? Other than that, there's really nothing much. Okay, so before we end this segment of the video, we're going to talk about this cross multiply thing in solving equations. So one of the most common mistakes, let me cover this first. Okay, so if you look at this working, what they're doing is, if you take it as an equal sign, you actually can cross multiply and solve, right? So I just cross multiply, right? So I'm going to take this one times down, this one times down, and I have this. So this looks correct. If this were an equal sign, this will be fine, but because of the inequality, you're going to get it wrong. So the concept of cross multiply is the problem here. You are actually multiplying both sides by the common multiple, which is in this case 4 and 7, so that will be 28. So by right, you're supposed to multiply 28, multiply 28. okay, and then you get something like this. But if you look at the correct version, I start from here, I take both sides, multiply by 28 here, and the purpose is to cancel the 4, right? So then these 2 cancels, the 4 cancels, left 7. These 2 will cancel and left 4. And if you compare this and this, you start to realize why this is wrong, because the inequality sign is different. Yeah, so it's quite important that when you do this cross multiply in the inequality question, you got to be a bit more careful. Okay, you cannot anyhow just cross multiply like last time. Okay, so eventually if you solve it normally, you realize that the answer is different. So this is wrong. Okay, so this is the wrong version, and this is the correct answer. So hope you've learned something from this video. Thank you and bye bye.